gonna be a little crooked. It's like everything. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't have it anymore.
I think so.
Was it because I hit print on that?
Oh, you think?
I was trying to print something back home.
It's the microphone.
Oh, is it? You have the, yeah, you have, a lot of times you have to have headphones to keep it from, with recycling the sound, I don't know what it's called,
Oh.
feedback.
Okay, I'll put it on mute.
There you go. Or if you turn your speakers down.
You can hear it on his. No, it's delayed like 45 seconds.
Oh, do you have yours on?
No,
Right.
it's Baca.
Oh, okay.
He's making sure it's working back there, but it's just delayed.
Are you guys like broadcasting that to Tulsa?
Tulsa, Texas.
Tulsa, Texas?
Trying to.
Trying to.
Did you guys get Brett live in the flesh?
Uncut. Yeah.
Raw.
Raw, that's exactly right. I like that one.
Brett's a regional Kevo celebrity.
Yeah. Regional. Alright, we'll go.
You guys are just about
No, we have all week to test it out and choose not to each time. So I'm sure if we spent 20 minutes on it, it would be fine, but we'd rather not. We don't know anyone that can do it. We're gonna have to take it up to Best Buy and ask them how it works.
Where's the memory card?
Every time you hit record, it says no memory.
Yeah,
You don't have a memory card?
No.
that's like my brain.
I bet Christy's got it
I'm
somewhere.
gonna dig through her desk. I'm gonna count.
It's really small.
What? My desk or my head?
No. We'll answer that. Okay. Okay, we'll get going. So today, the topic is the Kevo system. How to become a $100,000 earner in 24 months. That's the goal. That's the trend we've seen over the last few years, and it really is dependent on you. It's how aggressively you tackle the system, how much time you spend on it, how much you deviate from it. It's dependent on you. If you just want to sell a few houses a year, that's great. We can show you how to do that. If you want to sell as many as humanly possible, we can show you how to do that. So I was aiming this over here. So this class is basically for brand new people in the company, brand new people, period, to kind of indoctrinate them into what we do, what we believe, and how to be successful really, really fast from square one. And so this is one thing, you see them kind of all over the office. Our keys to success: sales skills, mentorship, attitude, referral partners, and time management. We're going to talk about some of those today. But this is very important if no one's seen it before. If you haven't heard before, seen it before, ask your mentors about it. We might have some literature floating around the office about it. And then the second item is our income-producing activities: networking, open house, FISBOs, and recruiting. Those are the four things that if someone says, hey, I need to make money, what should I do? That's it. Just these 4. Nothing else. Again, depending on how far you deviate from them, it's going to depend on how successful you can be. But really, that's what you need to do. Not, we can get into more detail, but networking isn't getting on Facebook, open houses isn't unlocking a door and leaving, FISBOs. We have to actually go out and do these things. We have to actually work those. So for people who hadn't seen these before, I just wanted to put them up. It's kind of, again, this is our commandments. Does that work? These are our commandments. So
You just invented the
I know.
term.
I know. So, income producing activities and keys to success. Write those down. Understand those. And if you don't, or if you have any questions, ask me or ask someone at a later time
Hey, Brett, could you maybe put it like on
so you can see.
that? Yeah. Thank you.
Any better?
Yeah.
Can you read slow?
Well,
Wow.
actually,
All right. Let's do this.
On the key or something.
yeah.
There you go.
I know they can see him. All right. Okay. So our goal is $100,000 in 24 months. That's our goal. So what we want to do is, when you set a goal, the best way, this is just goal setting 101 for a second. When you set a goal, you want to set where you're from to where you want to go and the amount of time you want to do it. So a goal is going to be, I want to go from earning nothing in real estate to $100,000 in real estate in 24 months. You have to set yourself an ending time. You have to acknowledge where you're at and acknowledge where you want to go. So this is it. We want to go from 0 to 100, 24 months. Best way to reach your goals is set lead measures. If everyone's familiar with that term, a lead measure versus a lag measure. So I'll use the example of losing weight. If I want to lose 25 pounds, I can't just say I want to lose 25 pounds because I have no ending time. I have nothing to work with. It's not as effective. So my goal is I want to go from 125 pounds to 100 pounds in 6 weeks. That's my goal. So I'll set lead measures for myself. And what that means is it'll be goals that are indicative of my overall goal. So my overall goal is to lose 25 pounds. My lead measure is to work out an hour a day and to eat no more than 25 calories a day. Those are my 2 lead goals. If I do those, yeah, I know. Was that a lot?
You said 25
25
calories.
calories.
100 calories. Is that more normal? 2,500 calories.
2,500.
Yeah, 2,500 calories a day. That's what I meant. So those are my lead goals. My calorie intake and my workout. Those are 2 things that I can control. And so if I set those lead goals and stick to those lead goals, I will meet my overall goal. So that's what we want to do when we're working on goals. Set goals that will help us meet our goal, not just earn 100K. What am I going to do that? So in that, what our system does is we want 24 referral partners in 24 months. That gives you a goal of 1 per month to get. When you have 24 referral partners, each one send you about 2 deals a year. 50. If you sell 50 houses a year, you're making $150,000 a year very, very easily. 50 houses is a very difficult task. I think the highest earner in the last few years was Curtis. I think the most he sold was 40, and he got over 100. Or Sherry sold 38 and made 120,000. So these are just very, very low. If you never get above 50% and you sell 50 houses, you're going to be pretty close to $150,000 to $200,000 a year. So this is a very conservative number to hit. So our first goal is 24 referral partners in 24 months. We have to find 1 referral partner per month. A referral partner is someone who sends you 1 to 2 deals a year, every year, forever. You never ask for them, they just do it. For friends, family, coworker, other service providers that you've never really used, but they just know you're good, they trust you, they're going to send you people. So, to find 1, we need to talk to 100 people a month. Some people just don't refer people. They just don't do it. They're not comfortable with it. They think it's going to come back negatively on them. They just don't want to refer people. So, you're going to have to talk to about 100 people before you're going to find this 1 person who's going to send you 1 to 2 to 3 deals a year. So, How do we talk to 100 people? Glad you asked. It's going to be our income producing activities. So these are designed to get you in front of 100 people a month. That's what these are designed to do. So ideally, at an open house, you'll have 10 people a week come through. Hopefully have about 40 people a month. FISBOs, if you're doing about 5 a week, we can have 20 people a month on a FISBO. Recruiting, if you're talking to, again, one person a day, 5 per week, you can hopefully talk to about 20 people about real estate, and then you're networking, again, 1 a day. So, there's a brief breakdown. So, again, our system's designed to get you to talk to 100 people a month. 100 people is a bunch of people. So we have to break it down even smaller, be more specific with it. Open houses and FISBOs, we should be doing those every single day, every single week already. Hopefully meet 40 to 60 people a month in those, just talking about real estate. And then recruiting and networking is something you do within your own network or just out and about organically if possible. And again, hopefully another 40 people per month in that. So, as quick as we can, we want to talk to 100 people a month. And I think we did this last time we had the meeting. We challenged anyone to actually go to keep track and talk to 100 people a month. And Curtis and Sherry and Jasmine and I talked about this too. I think the most any of us ever got was like 60 or something. And again, you've seen their success and it's been tremendous. So keeping up with these numbers for 2 months would be a very incredible, very beneficial feat.
You said 5 FISBOs per week, meaning go out to see 5 FISBOs or
Yeah,
call?
caller, yeah. Hopefully, we call 10, we want to get 8 appointments. Okay. So, call 7, 8 a week. And hopefully 5 appointments. Yeah, again, we want to talk to people about real estate. That's our goal. Talk to 100 people a month about real estate. Whether it be about a house they're selling, house they're wanting to buy, houses they want to refer to you, or people that might want to get into the industry. So, just 100 conversations a month about that. So, there's two kind of people that you're going to work with. So there's going to be people in your network, and there's going to be everyone else. So there's about, what is it, Steve, 25,000 houses a year? Steve?
What?
Is that right? 25,000 houses a year sell in Oklahoma City? Okay.
Yeah, 2,000 something a month.
Okay. So there's about 25,000 houses in Oklahoma City metro per year that sell. There's 3,400 realtors, so there's plenty to go around. So the first part of it is we're going to have to go out and get those. The other part is your network. Everyone approximately knows about 200 people. The Dunbar system or the Dunbar theory said you can maintain about 150 relationships before they start to fall by the wayside. So everyone knows about 150 people pretty well, another 50 people in their network. So everyone kind of knows about 200 people. Those 200 people know 200 people. So within 2 degrees of separation, you should have access to around 40,000 people within the Oklahoma City metro area. Seems like a lot, but break it down, and it's going to be pretty close. The entire world has 6 degrees of separation, so you should have plenty. So there's 2 people that we go after right when we start. Our network, I consider this to be more like so this is more like a garden, and this is more like a grocery. What we want to do is have 24 referral partners in 24 months. So at the end of 2 years, every deal we do is given to us. It's a friend calling and saying, hey, my mom said I should use you, or my cousin said she used you last year, I want you to buy my house. So at the end of 24 months, we should have people calling us, asking us to sell and buy houses for them. That's going to be our garden. That's us planting seeds and then food just coming to us. Before we can get there, we have to go to the grocery store, which bird dogging sales, going out, doing FISBOs, open houses, going out and finding these people to finding these people, getting in front of people that have immediate real estate needs. Someone that needs to buy a house right now because they're relocating or because they are having another kid, they need to buy right now. People who need to sell a house right now, but they're not using a realtor because they can't afford it or they think they're smarter than everyone. So we go talk to these people right now, and that's going to be bird dogging sales for a while. And that's what we're going to have to do for 24 months until we can get these referral partners and our food can start coming to us. Does that make sense? Really elementary, display of it. But so this is how you go again from 0 to 100 in 24 months. This is our goal, and this is what we need to do. These are 2 ways to do it. So that is what, if someone comes in the first day and just says, "What do we do? What do I do?" Because that was one thing I loved about Kevo when I came in. I met Steve here in this room 3 years ago, and I passed my real estate license. I called him and said, "I'm done." He said, "Come in," and I just said, "What do I do?" And the next day we were out calling FSBOs. 2 days later, I was at an open house. And so it is as easy as that. It's as simple. I mean, talking to 100 people a month, having a 35-second conversation, 2-minute conversation about it, you never know what's going to be on the other side of that conversation. When I was doing all my FSBOs, when I first started, I would meet investors that have 40 houses to sell. I would meet builders that have 8 houses ready to sell right now on the ground that they can't sell. So the more conversations you have, the more interactions you'll get into. I know Micah met a guy who had 500 properties that he thought about selling. None of them actually sold, but it was almost a tremendous opportunity.
What's funny is I met Brett. He was at FSBO.
Yeah, there you go. So Micah, when he very first started, or a couple months in it, he came. I was trying to sell a house by owner because I thought I was smarter than everyone. So I was selling my house by owner. Micah came and we kind of talked for a little bit, and then 6 months later, I called him, said I want to get my real estate license. So you have no idea what's going to be on the other side of these conversations that you're having. So have as many of them as you can at the department store, at the bank, with family and friends that you think have no interest or no real estate needs. You just never ever know what is going to be on the other side of them. So have as many of them as you can. So these, like I said, these are, it's as simple as this, doing your income producing activities with goals. Set your small goals, set your week goals, achieve these, 5 a week is a lot more obtainable than 20 a month or 100 people a month. 100 people a month sounds like a lot when you break it down. But break it down even more, and 5, 10, 5 is very, very obtainable. Really, you can do this before lunch most days if you wanted to, except for the open house. You can't do this on Sundays or Saturdays. So I would definitely encourage, for the next month at least, because it'd be hard to maintain this much activity. It's a lot of activity. But if you maintain it for a few months, 6 months, or even 24 months, I assure you, you will reach that goal much, much, much quicker than 24 months. So these are the actions that we take to make 100,000. So the Kevo system, a big part of it as well, is the mentoring. Obviously, everyone in here hopefully has firsthand experience of what mentoring can provide. Has anyone not sat down with their mentor and talked about things yet? Okay, good. So everyone should have firsthand experience on what the mentor is for. It's a tremendous, tremendous resource for you guys that you really can't find for free anywhere else in Texas or Oklahoma, I hope, not that I've found. So use your mentors, abuse them, blow their phone up. I promise they'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. So the actions, what we want to do to get our 100,000 is a big importance. The other part of the Kevo system that allows us to do that, we have a few. I want to talk about fees and Amy. So people like myself who have not been anywhere else, I just backed into Kevo with dumb luck, right place, right time, and I've never been anywhere else where I have to pay people $100 to $200 a month just to hang my license here. if I never come into the office, if I never make a copy, if I never talk to my broker ever, they're pulling $100 a month out of my bank account. So not having these fees, not having to pay for signs, stuff like that is a tremendous opportunity, and it allows people to do the things, struggle through all the stuff they have to do when they're new and not be upside down, not have to worry about quitting because their spouse is getting on them about how much this career is costing us and everything like that. So the fact that, for anyone who hasn't been anywhere else, the fact that we don't have to pay fees is a tremendous opportunity. The biggest thing, and I attribute a lot of my success to Amy. When I was part-time, has everyone met Amy too? Had an opportunity to meet and understand what she does? Okay. Amy Stevenson is our transaction coordinator, our processor. As soon as a house goes under contract, Amy takes it all the way to closing. You basically have to keep contact with your buyer or seller and negotiate inspections, but after that, Amy does absolutely everything. These are great for part-time people as well. If you're part-time, you can work with clients in the evenings or on the weekends. And then Amy does everything else with title companies, lenders, appraisers, inspectors, all these people that work 8 to 5. Amy coordinates them, sets them up, makes sure someone's there. You and your mentor make sure someone can let them in, access it. But Amy and Steve did this a long time ago to make sure that he kept his salespeople doing these things. We want our realtors doing these. We don't want our realtors spending 50% of their time doing paperwork. Amy is a type A person, and she would sit in front of a computer and do paperwork her entire life if someone would let her. So she's up there doing our paperwork. We're down here making sales. It's a beautiful relationship. When I was part-time, I sold nine houses in 9 months when I was part-time. And when I finally came on full-time, I thought, I don't know anything about the closing process. I'd sold 9 houses, and I couldn't tell you anything about it. I had a client ask me something about the appraisal process. I had no idea. It was incredible. And so I went with Amy. I was like, can you show me what happens during this time? And I did one deal with her, and I wanted to pull my hair out. There's no way. I don't understand how any real estate agent has more than 4 houses under contract without someone like Amy at one time. It would be impossible. You are bogged down with paperwork and just people calling you, bugging you, wanting stupid stuff that they could get themselves, but they don't want to look for it. So it's Amy is a tremendous opportunity for people to allow them to leverage their time and leverage themselves to go from having 4 or 5 houses under contract to 12 or even 18 like Curtis had about this time a year ago. So these are 2 tremendous opportunities for new people, part-time people, anyone in it. God, I go through these things really fast.
What?
I said I go through these topics really fast.
That's because you're ready for question and answers.
Maybe that's it. Is that it? We'll just say we cut it down for people to ask questions and have to get out of town at 10 o'clock. Got to go to Tulsa for FISBOs. Yes, question.
What do y'all do to get that many people through an open house? I mean, like, what do you do to? Because I noticed, like, on my past few that I've done, it's only been like 1 person, and I've been there. So
Good question.
How do you promote it?
The question is, if we're not getting a lot of people through our open house, what do we do? We have probably 150, 200 active listings. Kevo does in Oklahoma City. So I know you want to work your listings sometimes, but an open house, selling a house to a client on an open house, on an existing home especially, is very, very rare. So doing an open house for the seller's benefit, it doesn't make a ton of sense. So really, these open houses are for us to market ourselves and pick up clients. So if you're sitting on your own listing and only 1 person's coming through a month, you need to go sit on another listing. Or 1 person coming through a week, you need to go sit on another listing. You should be getting 5 to 10 at least, averaging a week to get to make it something successful that you want to keep at. Some areas, I've been in an open house with 40 people come through. I've been in a house where no one's come through for 3 weeks, and so I switched. But I would always be looking for one that has good traffic. And there's ways that you can draw traffic, signage, advertising online. You don't want to be in gated communities. You don't want to be in the back of a 10-phase development where no one will ever find you. closer to big streets. If you can have signs on a big street, that always helps drive traffic. Good desirable areas always help drive traffic. Even if it's a crappy house in a halfway decent area, it's better than a nice house in the back of a neighborhood that no one can find. So I would just say be very conscious about where you're picking your open house. Don't just take one. Try anything try any neighborhood once, but be very quick to get out if you're not getting the traffic you need. Because this is one of the most dynamic ways a realtor can pick up clients right here. If you can get good at this, Sherry specialized in this and didn't hardly do any of this stuff, and she broke the record for earning $100,000 in 11 months. So get very, very, very good at that, skilled at that. But just go to wherever the traffic is. Don't be afraid to leave where you're at. It's more important to have good traffic. Yeah, Carrie.
Okay, I've done 2 open houses, like 2 weekends in a row. I've had people come through, like maybe 9 came through, and I had 3 one other day or whatever. But I've had a few people come through, maybe twice. Well, probably a total of 20 people, roughly.
In 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks. Total 20 people. So
Perfect.
It's about right on target for the average that you're talking
Perfect.
there. But take me through the engagement because I'm still trying to wrap my head, because when the people come in, the whole because how do you actually capture them so you can take them as a client and be ready to show them,
Yeah.
To see them, to engage them, to talk to them.
Okay.
I'm not timid, I'm not shy, I don't mind, all that stuff. But I mean, to actually get them registered, saying, I want you to show me a house.
Okay.
And I was going to say, you also need to know the ratio. So if you have 10 people come through, there's only going to be typically always one active buyer that wants to buy a house like right now. Then you're going to pick up 3 to 4 more clients out of that 10, and the others you're not going to get. Because those are going to be the people that are going to be perpetual, that just like looking at open houses. They're not serious in any kind of way, or they're not qualified.
Yeah.
So before you jump into like how you get it, because I know Brett in the beginning, Jasmine went almost, I think it was 6 months, and she was closing 4 or 5 houses a month. She was killing it, and I got in one conversation with her, and I go, okay, so how many are you picking up one client a week? And she goes, I've never picked up one client in an open house in 6 months, and she was doing plenty of stuff. So we had to go back and
every
look.
week.
Everybody typically struggles with exactly what you're saying, because there's that little tiny thing, and I know you did the same thing, and then once you click and you get it, then you can pick up a client a week at it. So
Yeah.
Because I know what to do once I get them. I just got to get one.
You got to get them. Yeah, got to get your hooks in them,
I
right?
catch him. It's over.
Okay. So the question was in an open house, how you capture someone, how do you get to a point where they want to use you? And then Steve made a good point. In an open house, we're trying to get about 10 people a week, because the reason is there's about 1 person out of 10 people that are ready to buy right now. They have to buy something the next month. There's about 3 people that are going to buy in the next 6 months to a year, something like that. Then everyone else is window shoppers, tire kickers, professional open housers. If you guys do enough open houses, you'll see people come through the same neighborhood. I'm sure you've seen tons of them. I just want to look at it and talk to people. So you're really looking for about 1 to 3 people a week. That's why you need that volume. So if you're not getting that volume, it could take you a month to meet that one person instead of a week. So that's why you want to get that volume. So how to capture them. When someone walks into an open house, they've probably gone to 4 or 5 other open houses that day as well. They've met 4 or 5 other realtors that day. 4 or 5 the last week. They're going to meet 4 or 5 the next week. So you have to, in order to capture them, in order for them to say, okay, I need to work with this guy, you have to provide value to them in a very short amount of time. You have to prove to them that you know everything about the neighborhood, everything about the area, the school system, new construction or existing, whatever it is. You have to provide this value to them. So we have our system, our 3-touch system, to try to drop their guard down a little bit. The more you touch them, the more innocent the conversation they kind of drop. Because if they're a real buyer, if they're that one person coming through that has to buy right now, they're very reserved. They're not talking a lot. They're not volunteering a lot of information because they don't want you to accidentally sell them a house. So they're like, okay, I'm not talking to you. I'm just looking. And so what we had to do is break that guard down with our little 3-touch system. And then you want to turn every question they ask you into a question, try to get it into a conversation as much as possible. So they're walking around and they say, is this house 2,000 square feet? Yeah. Is that too big for you guys? Too small for you? They'll answer it back. And then you can slowly start learning more about them. The more you learn about them, the more value you can provide by the knowledge you have.
So when they come in, are you saying don't say anything, just kind of let them look and then let them ask you a question? Because they can, you know how they can come in and go out and never say anything.
Yeah, some people can.
Or do you, or do you, right there at the front door, do you know what I mean?
No, so I'm usually in the kitchen, a common gathering area or an area where I can see the whole house. When they walk in, you have something they want. They want that little MLS sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to come to you at least once to ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you go meet them. Hello, I'm Brett. Let me get you some information. So now they're waiting on you. They're going to sit there. They're either going to stay right where you met them or they're going to follow you. You go get your information. You give it to them again. Use their name as many times as you can because people like to hear their name. Say that here's this. It's got this, blah, blah, blah. Take a look around. And then this is there's two different ways to do it. But what I'll do is back off and let them walk around. Because now they're comfortable. Now they're not focused on me. They're focused on the house. And then I can kind of probe. I can probe them a little bit. Every time they cross my face walking from the master bedroom to the kids' room or something, I'll ask them something. I've been in Yukon for the past several weeks, so I'll just ask them something like, you guys try to stay in the Yukon school district? And that'll tell me if they have kids, if they want to be in elementary, if they want to be in high school, if they have no kids at all and they don't care at all, or if they live in Yukon now, or if their answer will tell me a lot of stuff that I want to know. So I kind of let them go, and then I just kind of probe them whenever I see them. Because if I'm in most houses, if I'm in the living room, they're going to walk on this side of the dining room, across to the living room, and then or across the kitchen, then a bedroom, and then a master. They're going to crisscross, so I'm going to have opportunities to talk to them. And then wherever you're at, it's probably where they're going to go last. So if I'm sitting in the kitchen or living room, they're probably going to check everything else out and then come in there, just because they won't want to deal with you until last, right? Or they'll sneak out. There's some houses that are really easy for people to sneak out, and don't do those, because I did those for a long time. There was one with the bonus room, and the stairs to the bonus room was right by the door. So I look at the house, go to the bonus room, and then just escape out the door. So I stopped them, and I said, you got to check out this bonus room first. And they started doing that first, so there's ways to get around that. But, try to turn, the more you probe them, the more information you gather from them, the more help you can be to them. And you don't want it to be an interview. You don't want to say how many beds you're looking for, how many baths you're looking for, what school district. Have a conversation to determine these things, and then whenever they're done, you can just ask them, what do you guys think of the house? Oh, well, blah, 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 I don't love it, whatever. And then you can say, because you know the area so well, have you seen the house in this neighborhood? There's a house that just went on the market down the street. There's this. If you guys are looking for this school district, really cool one just came on. So the more information you have that they want, the more likely they're going to work with you. So you have to provide value in a very short amount of time. Because like I said, that one person is going to have his guard up. But if you start giving him something he wants, then he's going to, once they start asking you questions, that's when you know you've got a really good opportunity with them.
So do you actually hand them the information sheet? Because I've kind of heard, I'm not saying either is wrong or right. I'm just saying some people don't give them anything and they want them to come to them to ask questions. And some people, like yourself, you said you give them the information sheet.
Yeah, there's two different. Sherry and I have complete polar opposite methods for open houses. She does very, very well at open houses. And so her way is not wrong. My way is not wrong. It's two different ways.
Yeah.
My way is more of I'm just less aggressive with it, I think. So my way is more of a, here you go, enjoy the house, let me know if you need anything, because they're going to come back and ask something. Or I'm going to overhear them say something. Or I'm going to probe them and get some information from them, and I'm going to be able to talk about something. So if I am, in my opinion, again, there's no wrong answers. If I'm following someone around, selling this house, talking to them, I can't talk to them about what they need or what they want. And so that's why if I'm just sitting over here and they walk around, I can just ask them something and they'll answer. They'll probably answer it as they're walking away from me, but now I at least know, again, how many, if they have any kids, if they need more rooms, if they want a bonus room or something like that.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Do you care if Jasmine also jumps in too?
No.
Because since I picked on her without being in the room earlier, I already told her she didn't do well with it for 6 months, and then a light bulb. Anyway,
Yeah, so
take a step. What Carrie really wants to know is, it's like once they get in, how do you get them to where they're going to use you as the realtor and not just go to the next open house and pick the other?
absolutely. I'm sure Brett's already kind of touched on this, but being an asset. So basically showing knowledge, showing that you can offer them something that Zillow can't, that Realtor.com can't. So basically it boils down to knowing your area, knowing your stuff. Make sure that you're doing your previews. Make sure that you know the builders that's in your neighborhood. Make sure that you talk to every single person, including neighbors that comes in, because they can be your one up. Neighbors like to talk. So basically, how I ended up going through 6, 7, probably even 8 months in the business without ever picking up someone at open houses. I had a lot of that knowledge, but I would never ask for their phone number. I was so afraid. I don't know why that was such this big fear. I just didn't know how to do it, and I'd engage in good conversation with them, and I feel like there was a connection. And I'd be like, okay, well, what's your email or and what's your phone number? Oh no, that's okay. Just my email's fine. Or I'm actually working with a realtor. And so whenever Steve found out, to his complete shock, he just didn't know how to take it. He tweaked it immediately, and the tweak was don't ask, tell, or command. I'm in a very passive way. So I went from what's your phone number? Do you mind giving me your phone number? To, okay, well, here's what's going on. This builder may have something available that fits your needs. Write your phone number down and your email, and as soon as I get the information, I'll be in touch. So they're writing, I'm still talking. They don't even have the opportunity to even object. Because while I'm saying do this, I'm also saying I'll do this. And so I'm not kind of leaving it dead end, and I'm not asking for it. I'm not even making them feel like they even have the choice in it. And I'm engaging them to the point where they really want to know what I'm going to find out. I'm taking a burden off of them. And so I kind of started to see myself as you need me, not I need you. So everything that I tell you to do is for the benefit of you, so you might want to do it. So whenever you kind of take on that, your persona, it kind of just comes out, and they believe everything. And I mean, you're good. You have a team of people behind you. You're gonna back it up, so you'll be fine. But I went from asking to commanding, and offering something powerful in return.
That's terrific.
Yeah. And
you hear her tone completely, your tone of voice, what her tone was
Yeah.
of hey, could I get your email? Hey, well, who wants to work with anybody that's what their attitude is?
Yeah.
Right? So when she changed her tone, really, she was almost saying the same thing, but she just tweaked her tone and said, hey, you have to, you got to work with me. Give me your, write your cell phone number down and give me your email, and then we're going to go out and get you a house.
Yeah.
It's like she took it from them. Because they will float around
Yeah.
with the wishy-washy realtors
Yeah.
that really don't know. They don't know. Well, you're hiring a realtor so they'll take charge and do the work that you hired them to do. They're not. I'm sorry. I don't want to be on that.
No, you're good. I just wanted to be able to hear you.
Sorry. But you want them. You want to be able. The client needs to feel confident that you are going to take care of them and handle them. So anything that you're doing is too passive. They see it as weakness, and they see it as you're not in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take charge of the situation, and it is for their own benefit that you take charge of it, because you're going to give them better service than anybody else is going to.
Yeah, that's
what
what I was going to say is if you're doing your open house prep correctly, going to the houses and previewing them, the area, they need you. They might not know it. I mean, Jasmine was working in the historic areas at that time, and she was knocking on doors, calling FSBOs, talking to anyone she could. She knew about 4 or 5 houses coming on the market that no one else even knew about. So they needed her. They didn't know it, but that's why when she's like, I know of this, write your number down, I'm going to send it to you, whatever. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, okay. Because if people want to get in that area, they'll take any advantage they can. So if you're doing your homework, if you're prepared, it makes it much, much, much easier. I thought a few things to never do on your open house that a lot of new people try to do. Never ask if they're working with a realtor. Never ask that. Because what's my answer? Yes. Bug off. I'm working with someone. Don't talk to me anymore. Never ask that. And then Steve taught me to never hand out business cards. Don't even take business cards to the open house. Because if I have your business card and you say, give me your number, I'm going to say, no, I've got yours. If I need you, I'll call you. And then, bam, they're gone. You never talk to them again. So don't hand out business cards. It's on the MLS sheet, my number is, but I don't tell them that. They have to know where to look to find it. But I don't give out business cards, even if they ask for them. If there's someone that I want to do business with at some point in the future and they ask me for my business card, I never give it to them. Say I'm out. I ran out yesterday. They're in my other pants. I don't know. Give me your number and I'll text you my information. Now you have their contact information because they're never going to follow up with you. Probably. You will follow up with them. And then the last thing is a lot of realtors, if there's nothing else you can do, you can defer to this, but I hate when people say, give me your info and I'll send you some stuff, because every realtor in the city puts clients on these campaign drips and it just sends them garbage every month, every week, or every day, however often it is. And it's not doing them any good. They can get on Zillow and look at that crap. So if you're getting their information, have something to do. Have a follow-up. I'm going to send you this builder's floor plan. I'm going to send you this house I just told you about over on 14th. I'm going to send you this. I'm going to get this guy's information for you. So when you're getting their information, have something to do. Don't just say, I'm going to send you some stuff, because that's what every single realtor does. They're probably getting emails from 4 or 5 different realtors, depending on how aggressively they're shopping. So those are a couple of things to try to avoid. Yes, Lynn.
Do you think it's a good idea? Sometimes I've taken my iPad, like, because I've got some listings in Missouri, and then, if they don't like the one I have, sometimes I've just already had it pulled up, because I know, I'm going to get people, and then I kind of show them some pictures of other ones in the area, and then say, I could show that to you. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think it's too much information?
I do. So I do that, but I print it out. So I have a list of stuff. And I'll just tell them, there's this. Have you seen this? If they're looking for a 4-bedroom and there's only 4 beds in Surrey or whatever, I can show them here. And then I'll only make one copy, so I can't send it. I can't give it to them. It's my copy. I need it. So give me your information. I'll send it to you. That's what I do. That's not. If they're vacant and you can go show them right now, that might be good. But I'm just kind of thinking if they see it online, they think I'll just go look at it online. But I print lists of stuff off.
I'm gonna blab in here again.
Have it. That's what you're here for.
Do you ever think the number one thing when somebody walks into an open house, the number one thing that's in their head that you have to kill and get it out of their head when they walk in, and you're standing in that house, they 100% believe you were there to sell that house, right? So if you walked on a Mercedes dealership and the sales rep walks out, what do you think they're going to try to sell you? A Mercedes on that lot with that salesperson. That's the way all sales work, other than real estate sales. And some realtors can get this messed up and think that they're really trying to sell the house at rent. Now, if somebody walks in and goes, we want to buy this house, you of course say, yeah, absolutely. You don't go, no way. But what I'm saying is so you know automatically that they're walking into that house and in their head, they're going, oh, this guy's going to try to sell me this house. I sometimes like to be at a house that I know nobody's going to buy. That's funky. That's overpriced. Because my goal is to get on the same side as them as fast as I can. The sales skills part of our business is not selling. It's that you just know enough about this business. You know enough about what to say, when to say, and how to say it, the tone to say it, and who the people are. Because typically people decide within 10 seconds when they walk in the door if they like the house or not. When you're showing them, they're deciding within 10 seconds. And if I read in 10 seconds, they're not going to buy this house, I jump on their side by saying stuff like, hey, good to meet you guys. As you're looking around, let me know what you think about the backyard that looks like a playground. Or let me know what you think about the jacked up the bathroom upstairs. It needs to be blown up. And what I'm doing, automatically they're going, okay, well, this realtor is actually being honest and telling me what they really think about this property right out of the gate. Now, I have to be cautious Because if they walk in and love it and I say something stupid like that, it's a mistake, right? But if I read it and my chances of saying the wrong thing at that point is almost none, because less than 10% of the people are ever going to buy that house. So I have a 90% chance that I can go on, not necessarily attack, but I can agree with them. Already, what I'm doing is I'm getting them on their side. Plus, I'm also making them realize I can sell any house that's in the neighborhood. And I don't talk about benefits and features of that home. Yeah. What I'm talking about is personal stuff that's going on in the neighborhood. Like, if the neighbor told me that the HOA has gotten embezzled and it's going under, I'll tell it. Because what they know, they're going, okay, this is a real person. They actually really know what's going on. And then I'll jump to other neighborhoods. I go, this is a really cool neighborhood, but the other neighborhood, there's another neighborhood that's 10 years older, doesn't have a swimming pool in the neighborhood. I don't know if you guys even care about that. But I'll start throwing out stuff all over the place about anything, trying to prove to them I am a value to show them anything that's on the market. So what you want to be able to go to more like a Automax where they sell any kind of car. You go and they could sell any product. Then it would be a different relationship with the car salesperson. It would be, well, what do you guys really want? Well, I got 12 kids. We don't need a Corvette. All right? So they will try, and if they go, great, you don't. You need whatever Brandon drives he's got. You need one of those, whatever that thing is. Yeah.
What would you say if the house is overpriced? How would you say anything about that?
I would wait until they look and because here's the comment they'll make. They'll look at it and go, oh, $185,000, and it's a $150,000 neighborhood. I said, yeah, it looks a little steep, doesn't it? I won't necessarily even what I say. It's going to be the tone, and I say that I answered the question. Even just agreeing with them, right? I mean, I could just, yep, it's $185,000. Did I say anything negative? Did I say anything wrong? I just agreed with them completely. And you go, there are other houses in here that are like 150, and so, but it's the tone in which I said it in that put them where we're all agreeing. So tone, and Brandon used to use this study all the time. The doctor's tone of voice that people deal with them, the ones that have bad tone get sued 80% more than doctors that have good tone. Because you think, you killed our grandmother, but we really like you, right? But if the doctor is hateful and has a negative tone or demeaning tone, people automatically want to sue him. So your tone has more, or even I think the other one was a school teacher situation where they said that they just muddled up, kind of Charlie Brown, the teacher's voice. All you could hear you couldn't hear the words, you could just hear the mumbling or the tone. And they asked everybody outside the room to judge what the students actually felt like about the person about their teacher that they actually sat in the same room with. It was exactly the same. The people could figure out from tone what the students thought about the teacher. So I cannot stress enough the tone that you're using in everything when you're asking or whatever you're trying to get done. It's your whole, if somebody says, hey, y'all want to go to the movie? Or, hey, let's go to the movie. The new whatever's coming out. It raises to where people are really, if you're really trying to get them to go, you can't go, hey, I want to go to the movie. I mean, it's not, your tone sets everything. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, Steve made a good comment. 10 or 15 seconds after they walk into the house, they know if they even like the house or not. So once you read them or get something off of them, forget about the house you're in. Forget about it. You're trying to capture that person. So at that point, Steve would say something insulting about the house, to try to get them to know that, I'm not here to sell you this house. I know this house is ugly. Someone will buy it, but it's not you. Let's go find you something else. So, point out defects in the house. Like that one we sat on that had the bonus room with big, weird ventilation cutouts. You remember that? Who was it? What's the guy's name? Todd's listening.
122nd.
Yeah, Glenhurst.
Where they couldn't fit the air conditioning ducts in the
Yeah.
house, and so
So
they
the-
just built boxes.
Yeah, the builder couldn't fit the air conditioning into the attic, so they built it into the room, and they just sheetrocked over it. And so we were like, go up and see what you think of this. And it's just like, yeah, what is that about? And so
Or the closet at D.R. Horton that you opened the closet door and the closet was only 8 inches deep.
yeah, you can't even hang anything in it.
No, you opened it and it was like right there. It was like
Yeah,
that small.
yeah.
So it became a funny little target, but it was something to get your people started connecting with you and go,
Yeah.
That's goofy.
Yeah.
I mean, we could change it. And I go like, what do you put in it? And they go, well, I can hang my wedding dress in it, or
Sideways.
maybe I could make a video closet out of it. It doesn't even have any shelves.
Yeah.
Just a 8 inches closet.
Yeah. So as if the buyer perceives that you're not doing anything to sell this house to them, and that you're being honest, then that relationship can start to grow. And again, you can't pick up a client without providing value and having some sort of relationship with them. So we kind of got off topic and started talking about open houses.
But I think it still came into.
Yeah. No. Big time. Yeah.
I think it's good. For me, it's good. I don't know about everybody else, but that's what I've been experiencing.
Yeah.
When I come to a class, it's really cool when you can get the real life stuff of what's going on. I mean, everything you said has been great personally.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think, and this is, I mean, FSBOs are going to be the launch pad of your career going forward, because that's a good way to have a bunch of conversations about real estate, and you can control these. You can go to as many as you want. This is a great way to do it, and it picks up clients, it picks up houses to sell, it picks up on open houses for you. So this is the launch pad of this. When you've got a couple houses, open house is the biggest, the most important. It's the easiest way. You got people coming to you that want to buy a house. They're coming to you, and all you have to do is convince them to use you. So this is a very important one, and it's going to be where you meet most of your people, your weekly people. So if you can get some good ones here. I had a really good one in Mestre Park that we couldn't sell. It was overpriced, but Charlie sat on and benefited from it. We sat there for 4 or 5 weeks because we couldn't sell it. So just because it doesn't sell doesn't mean it's not an awesome open house. Like, we're having 20 to 30 people a week through. So new constructions are great for open houses because they sit there for a little bit sometimes, a month or two. So open houses are good.
How do you address, like, when people, like, when you're on an open house and maybe you haven't had anybody come in, and then a couple people come in and you start talking to them, and then a couple more people come in and you don't want them to leave, but I mean,
Yeah.
I've had that experience.
So the question was, how do you, if you're talking with someone at an open house and someone else walks in, how do you try to capture both and not lose both? So, and I'll do this if I'm in a conversation with someone and we're engaged a little bit. I'll say, give me 1 second, Tom. Hey, I'm Brett. Welcome to the house. Here's your sheet. Take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I'll come back to Tom and talk to Tom again. They understand that you're working there and that you have to do something. Most of the time, they'll stick around if it's an engaging conversation. If it's just dragging on, they might just say, "Oh, well, I'll take off," and then may not have got anywhere anyway. But yeah, and a lot of times, I mean, it's just kind of, you have to feel it out how your conversation's going. If you feel like I have a really good chance here, maybe let that guy walk around for a minute. You just kind of have to feel it, unless you have a better answer than that.
I'm gonna say something. So if I was talking to Kelly and Carrie, and I was in a conversation, right, and so then we got Kevin shows up, goes in the open house. I always have my notepad. I go, guys, I want to keep talking to you guys, but do me a favor, give me your number and put down your email address. I'm gonna go visit with this guy, and I'll be back. And I'm done. Done. Because now you both are gonna have to go. We're not gonna do it. And you can't tell me that.
Yeah, you can't say, I'm not going to write it down.
I mean, you could, but if you say that, I don't want to use clients anyway.
Yeah. People don't like, most people
That's
don't
where you
like
take-
confrontation.
You just take control of it. Say, here, write it down. I'm going to go over and visit with Kevin, and if I get over and Kevin goes, oh, no, I just bought a house last week. I wanted to see what this one looked like. I'm going to go, okay, good deal, Kevin. So here's the paperwork.
Get out.
I'm going to go back and grab it.
Yeah, and like Steve said originally when we were teaching this, people don't like confrontation. So if you just say, hey, here you go, write here, we're gonna write your name down here, I'll send this to you, and you give it to them, most of them are gonna be like, okay, and write it down, just because they don't want to tell you no. It's really hard to tell someone no when they're telling you to do something, give me something. And even when they do, they're real uncomfortable with it. So it's hard. It's hard to tell people no. Any other questions about any of the other income-producing activities?
Well, I have a question
Or-
about the open houses. Say you get them, you get their name and number, you get their email address, you have a good conversation,
Mhm.
and then you follow up. You do everything you're supposed to do. You
Mhm.
do the task or whatnot, and then it's crickets. Nothing. They
Yeah.
won't respond to you. They won't answer your email. They won't answer your text. They won't answer your phone call. They won't. I mean, nothing.
I mean, tag me.
Yeah, all right. Get it, Baca.
So reaching some numbers. That's the thing that you have to understand. If you are talking to enough people, and you have to do open houses for sale by owners long enough and consistently enough for the numbers to work out, right? So let's just say, basically, if you're flipping heads or tails on a quarter, right, and you get 7 heads in a row, does that mean it won't balance out later? I mean, obviously, you got 50% chance. So if you do enough, if you flip that coin enough times, eventually it's gonna balance out. So that's what you have to do. Is like a lot of people get real, and especially early on, you get really tied up and you go, I felt like I really connected with that person, or I did this for them, or I did everything right and they didn't say yes. And you did do everything right, but you just have to do more of it.
How long do you give it before you say, okay, this is a lost cause, let's move on?
Just keep.
I mean, here's the
Yeah,
here's the
yours.
other part of it. You never know. Sometimes when you're getting crickets, okay, have you ever been in a situation where you need to buy something, right? And that salesperson's communicating with you, and you're just like, I don't have time to deal with it, and then you have to buy it, and then you go, oh, I need to call that guy, right? It's the salesperson that follows up consistently. So the other part of it is, if you're following up consistently, so I've had a deal after 2-3 months, and they go, hey, sorry, I haven't been getting back with you. I've been getting your calls. Thank you so much. We need to go look at this house tonight. Is there any way we can go see it?
I had one for a year and 4 months. They're like, hey, we're ready to list our house. I'm like, huh? You remembered me? And I just sent them an email for months. It was like, okay, and then after a while I kind of got the clue, but I didn't want to let up. And so every month or every couple months, I still shoot them an email, send them a text or whatever. And literally a year and 4 months later, they're ready to list their house.
And you don't know when you meet them, what if they're getting their credit repaired?
Yeah.
And they don't want to come in and go, we got bad credit. We need 6 months. They don't want to tell you that. They don't want to admit it. I mean, they walked into a $300,000 house or whatever it is. They don't want to admit that to you. They don't want to tell you maybe that they're waiting for their parent in the hospital to die to get their inheritance money. They may not. There's so many reasons they don't want to tell you what's going on, and these are all real reasons I've dealt with. And I've followed up with people, and it's normal that they don't respond to you. But when you're reaching out to them through text or through emails, you don't just you get real specific with your email or your text. Right. You just send them out one thing. I would do it once a month, and you just send them out and you go, hey, there's a house in the same area you guys looked. It is out of your price range you guys wanted, but I thought it was a cool house. I thought I'd send it to you anyway. And then nothing's going to happen. They're going to look at it. I promise you they're looking at it and they're reading it, but they're not going to respond to you. It's going to take them, just like it's so normal for it to be 6 months to a year before they all of a sudden go, okay, now we're ready. Okay, now I'm going to call Jasmine because she's been following up. And then they'll start that conversation. Oh my gosh, thanks so much for sending it. Or if I run into them at an open house, they'll go, oh, hey, please keep sending us those information. Yeah. But they'll never talk to you. It's so weird, and that's when you get into our time management. We do not train CRM systems where you just automatically it sends out crap, because everybody sends out crap. Blah, 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 here's what the market's doing. I don't care what the interest rates are. I'm not buying right now. So I don't care about all that stuff, and they don't either. So you have to specifically send them out something that's more personalized. It can be a house, but it's got to be personal. So when you send that out, we'll show you through our time management how to keep track of the clients, the active buyers that you have right now, and we're going to show you how to keep track of the other 3 that are not going to buy from you for 6 months to a year. How do you keep that under control on a regular basis if you have no CRM system and you're just having to do it from a paper system?
Mhm.
And I promise you, a CRM system will not work. Try everyone you can think of, they don't work in this business. Paper and our system is the only thing that works.
So that's where the folders come in. And you guys heard the want to, need to, have to deal? Your buyers or sellers, right? They're either a want to, a need to, or a have to, right? So a want to would be like, oh, we're looking at houses because we want to move. A need to would be like in my situation when we had 4 kids in a 1,300 square foot house, we needed to move, okay? And then the have to is when we got pregnant with our 5th kid, we gotta move, right? It's that we become a have to. And you never know when people are gonna become a have to. And they may hang out a need to for a year, right? But you never know when that's gonna happen. So a lot of times when people are like, oh, I cannot find this buyer a house, they look at 30 houses, I go, well, are they a want to, need to, or a have to? And that most times it's a want there and a need to.
Or want to.
Or a want to, yeah.
I got a lady. I met her like 6 months ago. She still looks at my stuff I sent her because you can see when I open up your stuff. But I thought about she won't answer my phone. She won't answer my emails. Do I switch phones and call her? No.
Just shoot her a text.
Just shoot her a text. Okay.
She's still looking.
That's what I thought. So at least I get into a conversation, find out what's going on.
No, because you have to, and I tell all my guys this too, because if you're calling FSBOs or open house people, or for you, this is how you get paid. You want them to respond right away, right? Like, what's going on? Why are they not calling me back? I called them yesterday. They have a whole life of their own going on, and they might, like you said, they might be getting a credit repair. They might have a parent in the hospital or a kid in the hospital, or you have no idea what's going on in their life. So all you can do is be diligent at following up. And whenever whatever's going on ends, then they're going to come back, or if you're still in front of them at that time, still following up, they're probably going to use you because most people aren't. 90% of people aren't following up.
It's always kind of like dating. So if you're pursuing a girl and all of a sudden you decide you're going to go switch a phone to get her to answer.
Is that how you want to start the relationship? Do you have something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm still in a situation where I'm following up with 6 to 10 people that I'm not getting a lot of feedback from them. But what that does is it keeps you sharp to specific neighborhoods. You know what's available, and if it's not like immediately beneficial in that situation, it's going to become beneficial when you do an open house, because there's not that many different situations and people's needs for housing. So if you're not talking to them, you're going to be able to use that information about your knowing a specific neighborhood and what's available at, and so it helps you stay sharp for other situations.
When you meet that have to, now you know everything you need to know.
A great dialogue with your clients is, hey, I saw this house and made me think of you guys.
Yeah.
And that stuff's like, it'll be organic and true because you have like a head full of stuff that you're keeping up with for these other people, and then all of a sudden now it's relevant for somebody else.
Yeah. Especially if you want to work in an area like Surrey or historic or something like that. The more people you work with in that area, the more needs you have to meet, the more you learn about everything in there, and it makes you a lot more effective.
If you have, by the way, if you have a listing in a neighborhood, you need to have a search set up for that neighborhood, so you know everything that's going on.
For sign calls, yeah.
For sign calls.
And just for
It's easier actually to be more valuable in a older neighborhood than it is a new neighborhood.
I think so.
New construction is it's new. Now, when you identify you've got a new construction person who wants a brand new house, then you're going to only have, if you figure out they don't want to use house, they want something brand new, you have to become an expert of every neighborhood that's brand new of every builder to get that buyer. If it's used construction, here's why it's easier to be more of an expert, because in our system we teach you to go out and look at the houses in the area. So you go into a neighborhood that's 20 years old or 40 years old or however old it is, those houses are nothing alike inside. Nothing. They all are, some are outdated, some are not. So when you get engaged in those conversations in an older or a used neighborhood, and I go, okay, there's a house, and I'm talking about neighborhoods that are even like 10 or 15 years old. And if you've been in a lot of them by previews or showings, then all of a sudden when a client comes in, I go, okay, there's a house over on 33rd Street. It's $20,000 cheaper, but it's got lavender bathrooms. The kitchen's got to be gutted out of it, but there's enough room in that I think you could spend the money. Or there's another house around the corner that's got They've knocked out a couple of walls in the entry. It's got the biggest game room ever. So all of a sudden, when people are hearing, I've been in all these houses, I must know. They think I know everything about every house. All I have to do is talk about 4 or 5 houses, and I'm done. I became the expert. So it's easier in an older neighborhood to become an expert with just a little bit of work, and you guys going and looking at the houses. But new construction, when you're in it, I know Carrie, you've been sitting on some new construction. What to identify, like if you're in an ideal home neighborhood, they get that every other house is going to look like that. Just it's going to have different. One's going to have 4 rooms. One's going to have, and it's going to be. It's a little harder to get them. But new construction, you have over a 50% chance that they're going to buy the house you're in. It's way different than used construction. It's just it's a buyer's mindset.
And you got to know if you're working builders, you got to really know everything they have in order to show them the differentiation. Because to some people, it's the same house but a little bit bigger. But with the particular builder that he mentioned, I've been working there. So I worked there so long. I know pretty much 40 is so different floor plans, so I can tell them this one's different because of this. But it can be kind of tricky when you're trying to show the differences to a client if you haven't worked them very much. You got to be pay really close attention because it's a small thing to separate each house.
Well, and what you would want to do is if you've identified they really want new construction and the price range, let's say it's a $200,000 price range. If you know what Four Corners builds, Ross Coleman, and then you can go price and you can go like, okay, here's what you're going to get in an ideal neighborhood. It's going to hover around this price per square foot. Here's why. But if we want to look at a neighborhood, which is a little different, it's going to be $10 or $15 a foot difference. And here's what. Why? This neighborhood's got 8 different builders, and there's going to have and it's got some custom, so the neighborhood's going to be a little bit different than if you build with a big production. They're going to have 10 or 15 different floor plans in this neighborhood. I don't know.
But Four Corners usually have bigger yards.
Bigger yards.
Ideal is going to have small yards but bigger common areas.
That's right.
So, I mean, Home Creation is usually on the lower end, and D.R. Horton is usually on the lower end of the price range. So it just kind of depends on your clientele. If they're wanting the cheaper stuff or the less expensive stuff, then you look at D.R. Horton or Home Creation.
And you might start, then you can get into like, okay, here's the difference between the two builders. Some are post-tension slabs, and some are traditional footing slabs, which, and then you can explain the difference. And it's not whether one is better than the other, and one costs more than the other. And you've got a whole different group of builders that think, the more custom builders think this is their only one way to build it. They spend $2,000 more to do it that way. And then if you do a tension system, it means that there's cables that run through the slab. Well, here's the problem with that. What happens if you get a water leak out of the house and you have to cut the concrete? If you cut the cable in that slab, you could destroy your.
Or if they get a storm shelter.
Or you want to cut a storm shelter, you better watch it. So nothing's bad, but what we're really doing is when that customer walks in and I have that conversation, they're going to go, this dude is an expert and everything has to do with new construction, no matter whose product it is. That's why they're going to go, I don't care what house we buy, I'm using Gary. That's what you're trying to get them to do. Sorry, we keep cutting in.
Nope, perfect.
So, and points will be really short. The bottom line is for new agents, whenever you're in between FISBOs and in between open houses, trying to figure out what should I be doing, you should be trying to determine where you want to be an expert in. You should strategically plan all your open houses and FISBOs there, and then in between time, you should be doing agent previews. You should be doing homework on the builders or on whatever makes those areas unique. There's always something for you to be doing to like sharpen yourself.
That was good.
Good ending note. That was great. Hopefully they heard that online.
Not picking up people. Keep going with your mentors and going like, I'm getting people in front of me. I'm not getting them.
Yeah.
You just keep bugging us.
Yeah. If you're not having the success you want or need to have, then keep keep asking for it because someone will be able to give you the resources.
Right, but remember, you need to be doing the numbers, because if you do go to your mentor and they're going, well, I talked to 2 people at my open house.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, if you're not talking to the
you need to
100.
be doing the numbers. If you're doing your 25 for sell by owners and your 25 meeting 25 people through open houses, and I mean, you need to be putting in the numbers.
Yeah.
Before we can judge if you're being successful or not.
You don't get to throw a bullseye with 2 darts.
Right.
Let's make that up.
Can I ask, it's kind of off topic, but on FISBOs, it seems like they're always on the defensive, and I'm sure it's because they've gotten 50 calls from realtors and all that, but once you go through the script or whatever, how do you, like, get them to chill? I mean, like,
On the phone or?
Yeah.
So the phone, the question was, how do we get FISBOs to chill out? Because they've probably been called a lot. The phone call should be a minute long.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Read the script, get the appointment, say thank you, I'll see you then, and hang up.
Okay.
They are trying to sell their house. They want to sell their house. If you're a realtor and you're not bringing a buyer, they're probably gonna be a little short with you. But you're the one who decided to sell this house, man, not me. So you need to do these things. So again, less 45 seconds to a minute, the conversation should be over. When you get there, just be normal. Walk through, have them sell you the house, walk through it. When we don't, I teach my people not to make a pitch over the phone or make a pitch at the meeting. And when you don't do that, their guards aren't up as high. And you'll even notice they'll shoot down a pitch before you even say anything. They'll tell you how many times we're not going to list. They'll tell you 3 or 4 times. It's fine. I just want to live in your house, man. I'm trying to sell your house for you. So when you don't do that, it changes their mindset a little bit. And I kind of have, like I told you earlier, Micah called me. I was a for sale by owner, so I kind of have a unique perspective of for sale by owners. When someone decides to sell their house by owner, they've made a decision in their head. They've chosen to do this. They've told their spouse, I'm going to do it. They've told their friends. They've posted it on Facebook. They've made up their mind they're going to do this. They're not. If you call them on the phone and try to convince them otherwise, it's going to turn into an argument, and you're going to say, I can do it at 6%. I can make you more money, and I can save you money. I'm better at this. And you're not very good at this. All these things is what these FISBOs hear on the phone from all these realtors. So it ticks them off, and they have a short fuse with realtors now. So when they have that mindset, you're not going to change their mind. Pitching it over the phone, pitching it in person, if they're not ready to make that decision, they're not going to make that decision. So what we do is we show that we're a human being, we're a person, we're talking, I'm knowledgeable about the area, I'm not an idiot, and then we follow up. Because eventually, 87% of FISBOs will list, and so if you're following up and you have built a relationship, provided value, they're familiar with you, when they make that decision to list, when they say, I can't do it anymore, I'm tired of it, I don't want to come home for showings at lunchtime or meet people who aren't qualified, all this crap, when they make that decision, it's not about money much anymore. It's more about who do I trust and who do I want to work with. And if you're the person who's called them the last 5 weeks, giving them a contract to help them understand what to expect, giving them a net to seller to understand, answered questions about showings, if you've done these things, then it's an easy decision. You're the only one who's actually been helping me trying to sell this house the whole time. So that's, you're not going to drop their guard right away. You just have to, like I said, the second we don't pitch them over the phone and pitch them in person, they're a little more receptive to us, I think. And some people are dicks. There's going to be dicks. So there's too many FISBOs.
You can't edit that out.
No, yeah. There are too many for sale by owners to care about the dicks.
Even those guys though will turn around if you're not pitching them because everybody else seems like is pitching them.
Yeah.
And so people say, well, that other guy just seemed like a script. And I'm like, well, you don't know this, but I started with scripts. But I didn't sound like it.
My script's easier.
Anything, and then the same thing back to the follow up, like what we're telling with buyers. And I feel like, I don't want to call these people again and leave another message because if they're for sale by owner and I've called them like 2 or 3 times and I know I feel like I'm bugging them. And then you wouldn't think you'd get shocked at the same thing so many times, but I still keep getting surprised every time I talk to them. Like, oh, hey, we're so glad you called again. And, when I finally do talk to them, they're like, well, yeah, check back in with this. And I'm like, okay, great. I really thought I was bugging you, but they don't care.
And
They're trying to sell their house.
And it can be a progression in their mindset, starting from I'm gonna sell it myself and that's it.
Yeah.
And then after maybe a couple of weeks, well, I might pay an agent to bring a buyer, and then a month later,
Right.
I'm done.
They'll change their mindset throughout.
I just did not know what questions to ask to follow up. It was hard in part of our script, like, is checking to see if there's a price change or something like that.
Mhm.
Now I just call them, just checking to see how it's going. Hope everything's going good. If I can help you anything, let me know. And that's it. And sometimes I'd rather leave that message because I don't have any like super specific stuff to tell them. And they appreciate that stuff.
Are you know what slide dial is?
And not until the Michael Mayer thing. It's, anyway.
So when we do our FISBOs, we have strategic questions that we want to ask to plant seeds of doubt in their head, to let them. Because if I tell you you can't sell your house, well, then it's a fight. Yes, I can. But if I ask you questions that raise questions in your own head, then it's Jedi mind trick kind of a thing. So if we ask them how many showings you're getting, what kind of feedback are you getting from your showings, and why don't you think you've received any offers? Well, then they either don't know the answer to the question, they're like, I don't know why. Everyone says they love it. Why haven't you gotten any offers? Then it plants a seed in their head, and those are my follow-up questions. Hey, following up, you guys get much traffic this week? No, we didn't get anyone. Oh, why don't you think you're having any luck with traffic? I don't know. Okay, well, good luck this week. So I ask those questions at the appointment. I ask them on the weekly follow-up because eventually they're gonna come to the realization that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do next. And if you ask those every time, eventually they're gonna say, well, what do you think? Then you can provide value and show you, have something prepared. Why they, know an area. That goes back to what Jasmine said. Know the area that you're working in. But yeah, that's the long-winded answer to your question.
Well, and like, so on some of these questions, I mean, can you filter in some of your kind of pitch in a, I don't know, like incognito kind of way? I mean, like, when you ask for like the what kind of feedback are you getting, and they say, oh, everybody loves it, then you say, well, sometimes it's hard for buyers to tell the homeowner.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Can
Tell them that. Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, just say you're not going to walk into my house and tell me my house is ugly. Yeah. Now, it might not be ugly, but people aren't going to be honest with a homeowner.
Yeah.
And because people don't want to hurt people's feelings.
So you just say, if they say everybody loves it, you go, oh, so anybody made an offer?
Yeah, why don't you think anyone's made an offer?
Why are they telling you they love it? I mean, I'm not saying that like this, but it's like, why are they telling you they love it and they're not making an offer?
Yeah.
I do a positive negative. Yeah. And I said, for some owners, it's a great way to save some money, but sometimes I offer people to, it's just easier for a buyer to work with a realtor, so they have a hard time dealing with that.
And see how his tone comes across where you're going, I believe what he just said.
Yeah.
Now, if he could turn that into a but his tone, and every time he talks about how he's communicating with people, it is always that tone like, hey, you can almost hear him in the conversation going, hey, I don't want to bug you guys, but I do want to follow up with you guys.
Yeah.
And then they're going, okay, great. That's what they're trying to do. So those questions, like the tone, like, how come nobody, why do you think they're not writing an offer?
Yeah.
And then you can get into like, well, sometimes people, just like what Brian said, it's right on cue. But the tone, I keep saying that tone has so much to do with it, of what you're saying.
Yeah, and I always tell people, because FISBOs will complain about realtors coming out and buyers that aren't qualified and people calling, lowballing, and I'll tell them, really you need to think of it, you're not saving money, you're hiring yourself to do this. So you need to go to work for yourself, figure out why you're not getting these feedbacks. Because they think, well, it's easy, right? I'll put a sign in the yard, guy calls me, gives me full price. And that's not what happens. And so and when you call them, tell them, hey, I'll reach out to you in a week or so to follow up again. That way they're expecting it. They're not annoyed when you call. When I leave the appointment, I always say that. We'll call you in about a week, make sure it's still on the market. Haven't dropped the price. And they say, okay. And I call and we talk. And But these people, you have to change your mindset when you're calling them because they need you. They don't know it yet, but they do. They can't. 87% of them cannot sell their house on their own. They need someone who's going to work hard and know the area, and that's what we are if we do what we're supposed to do. So they need us to call them. And so, that help? All right. Anything else?
Really, the thing is, there's no like magic answers other than just keep doing this until you become good at it.
Yeah.
You do it 100 times, and then the 150th time, it's like easier.
Yeah.
And I'm the world's worst. I mean, I go through spurts where I'm pretty good at this, and spurts where I'm awful. But I'm so much more confident to pick up the phone and make that call now than I was like 3 months ago. And it's only through doing it. Like listening to Brett and Brandon and Steve is great, but you just have to like get over yourself and just keep doing it. It's really the only answer.
Yeah. Because the cool thing about the FSBO is it's the same conversation over and over and over again. They have the same questions, the same objections, the same concerns. If you do 10 or 15 of them, you have an awesome answer for every single one of the things they have to say. You know what they're going to say every time. That's why that script, 90% of the time, you don't deviate from that script because it's the same exact thing over and over again. So all it is do enough of them, and then
Do we have
you
comes
just
to
get
that
eating
for people that don't have that?
somewhere.
What's that? What do you want?
FSBO script.
Yeah, I'll print some out.
Yeah, he printed
Hey,
off.
give them that how to make 100K in real estate sheet too.
I did.
Print it out. Oh, okay, you
They've got it. Yeah.
I'll print it.
I know my first one, I was so nervous.
Yeah,
There.
and
Now,
the cool thing is there's thousands of them a year.
And I never made a FSBO call in 5 years my first year. First 5 years, I never made one FSBO call.
Yeah, and that's why he wasn't very good.
Well, and I'm trying to figure out how you can, because I think that going into it, just call them, just say, hey, just want to come look at your house, blah, blah, blah. And then when you're there, but I want them to know that, hey, I do want to sell your house for you, but because I know that some people might think, you're just going to bring me a buyer. And
Well, that's the thing. You can't, if you go and pitch, hey, I'd love to sell your house, walls come up. I'm not listing it. Remember I told you, I already made up my mind. It's on Facebook. I'm selling it myself. So you're hurting yourself by pitching at that point. I usually don't pitch till the second follow-up, or if they give me some sort of tell, like, I'm getting so tired of this, or something like that, or I think we're going to list soon, something like that, then go for the throat. Tell them what we can do. We can list it for cheaper. We can do day-to-day, whatever. But unless they've made that decision in their head, anything you say about it's either going to go in one ear or out the other. They're just going to glaze over and not listen to a word you say because they're just not ready to hear it yet.
Ultimately, what Charlie said is absolutely the truth. We can't. What the best thing? Just go out there, mess it up,
Yeah.
call them, come back, and go. I said this, or I've called on 25 for sell by owners now, and I'm following up. Most of the time, what I find out is people go, "Oh, we had a guy called 22 for sell by owners, went to the appointments, and then comes back and I go, hey, how many of them have you got listed so far?" This is a month later. He goes, I haven't listed any. And I go, why not? He goes, well, I ain't called any of them back. And I go, what did you do? And so there's no way to fix that. It's like you just follow up. And really, realistically, it doesn't even matter what you're saying. If you just go to the appointment and follow up, 20 to 30%